Initial setup in OnCare Office. When you first get your OnCare Office system, you'll also be assigned a super admin access. That's the highest level of access you can have in the system. What you'll see as an admin is that you'll have this module here. Initially, there's a couple areas you'll want to focus on setting up. To start with, in the system admin side, you can go into administrative functions. Here, you can manage your users. So, for example, maybe you want to set up another admin, your directors, or any other variations of staff. You can come in here and hit Add New and create those users. Select their role and hit Save. You'll need to let the user know what their username and password is, but when they first log in, they can of course reset it. Additionally, you have some options under your family accounting and your staff records that you'll want to go through. One item here, the Add Edit GL account, decide whether you actually track general ledger accounts for each of your billing items. If you don't use this, we can simply remove it from your system. The other item you'll want to do is edit your billing setup. This is going to be key in order for you to actually start creating transactions and tracking your accounting in the system. For each location, you'll select that location and then create these transaction types. You can pick between the 5 options here. Let's say you're going to work with your tuition charges. You would select tuition charge and then enter in whatever tuition charge description that you want. You can enter a standard amount or leave it blank. And again, if you have that GL code, you can at the line item associate it with that billing transaction. Then you would hit Save. As you can see in this demo account, I've created a various number of transaction charges for tuition, other charges, credit, payments. At any time, if these charges are not what you want, you can simply go to Edit. You can either change the amount, the GL code, or simply inactivate it. Then it will no longer appear from your normal view. Additionally, you can set up programs. This can be done at the company level or a center level. You can decide, is this field mandatory or not. You simply will add programs. Programs can be anything that you want. It can be a traditional program like art or dance, or other centers use it to track age groups, like their 3-year-olds. Simply enter the names and hit Save. Again, if you want to remove one, hit Edit and inactivate it. Additionally, you can set up withdrawal reasons. Many centers like to make this a required field for when a child is withdrawn to enter the date and the reason for their reporting. Here you can add a reason, you can change the display order, or of course you can hit Edit to change the name or inactivate it. Additionally, you'll have the option to go through your child question setup. This is where you can establish yes/no type questions at the child level. Again, hit Add New, type in whatever your question is, decide the display order, and you can always edit that field if you want. If you decide that you want to track employers in your system, you can also set that up. You can add and edit employers that you can associate with the sponsors. Once you've gone through your basic family accounting setup, you'll want to focus on your staff record and timesheet setup. The first item you can look at is the staff position setup. Here you can add new positions or edit existing ones. You'll also want to look at your automatic roundup hours. If you're using the electronic time clock for your staff, you'll want to tell the system how to treat rounding up of hours. You also can tell the system what type of pay period that you use. Make sure you hit save once you've selected your option. Additionally, you can tell the system how you treat any variants in timesheets. You can leave the default of do not add, or you can edit to change the options. In addition to your family accounting and staff information, you'll also see there's one other section here called Others. If you click on the module configuration, you'll see that there's several options that allow you as an administrator to go in and select yes, no at any time. Things such as, are you going to allow voids in your system? Do you allow past entry dates for transactions to be posted? Do you want to lock the standard tuition amount so that a director cannot change that amount that's been entered? This is flexible to enter yes, no as you want. Just make sure you hit save. After you've worked through your setup of your administrative side, you'll want to come into family accounting. Here, if you have multiple locations, again, you'll choose that location. Once you're in here, you'll want to go into the setup section. The setup in family accounting has one similar field that you'll notice from the administrative, which is the billing setup. But in addition, you'll see that there's several other areas that you'll want to focus on. To give you a quick peek, the billing is going to look just the same as we saw it before, where you can come in and set up those transactions. In addition, item number 2, the automatic recurring posting. This setup here is how you're going to tell the system what day of the month or week you want your recurring charges to be posted. You can simply edit to change the day of the month or the week and hit save. Under User Preferences, this is where you can change the look and feel of several areas of the system. For example, if you work with agencies, you may have a default of how you choose to view that page. Child Schedule Templates. This will allow you to create a name of a schedule and select various times so that when you're at each child record, instead of having to manually configure the times, you can simply select that template. Adding third-party agencies is used for those centers that have subsidies or agencies that they work with. Here, you'll simply add new and create the agency name and abbreviation that you want to appear in the system. You also can collect other information for that agency if you want. The classroom setup. Each center will need their own classrooms. Here you can add new as well as change the display order. If you have bus runs at your center, you can also create those type of bus runs by adding new and naming them anything you want as well as changing the display order. And the last item for setup is the immunization setup. Here you'll notice that the shot records that we have default to the state of California. However, for your state, you may need to modify this. You can simply edit. If this immunization is not something you track, you can inactivate it or change the date ranges that are required or add new. And again, you can change that display order.